आप आते हो पुणे, you fall in love with the city, you cannot leave it. 30-25 साल पहले आप इमेजिन भी नहीं कर सकते थे कि यहाँ पे प्रोजेक्ट आएगा. जंगल थे. अभी सर वहाँ पे लाइन लगा के माल बिक रहा है.
I feel bigger developers are making smaller houses, ticket sizes, and the local ones are trying to compensate that part by giving bigger houses.
The second challenge that we are facing is with regards to FSI. Like everyone wants to maximize their FSI on the land that they have.
Is there a trend that because of this traffic, people are preferring other locations, or still just managing with this? Welcome to another episode of Zapkey Open House. With Zapkey Open House, our objective is to go beyond data and marry it with on-ground intelligence. In order to do so, we get market practitioners who are working in specific micro markets to share their insights so that it helps you, the viewer, in taking better property decisions. So today, we're covering our first market in Pune, East Pune, a market which can be called an all-rounder market, which has something to offer for everyone. Today, we have 3 guests with us to help us get insights of these markets. Let me introduce you to them. So welcome, Yash, welcome, Siddhant, both of you from Realty Brothers, and welcome, Juzer from Karbala Estates.
Thank you very much.
So before we start, this is largely an informal discussion. There is no Q&A. We'll all be having a discussion where we all can ask and answer, right? I will be more like an outsider because I'm learning from you guys about the market, but would love to have an informal discussion where we can discuss various topics about what the market is, what are the drivers, what are the trends, what are the challenges, projects which are hot, what should be some buyer tips. All of this we'll discuss during our discussion. To start with, let's have a quick round of introduction. Yash, why don't you start and then we'll go.
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me out here. It's an honor sharing stage with Mr. Juzer. We grew up watching him, watching his content, and now sharing the same stage with him is a pleasure, humbling experience. So I would like to call myself as a real estate learner, I would say, because there's so much to learn. You learn so much every day. You're not just a broker, you're a financial advisor, you're a marketing expert. You have to go through each and every step together. Also, I'm the founding partner of Realty Brothers with Siddhant. So yes, that's a little bit about me.
Great. Siddhant.
So I have about 7+ years of experience in marketing. I've grown up in Pune itself, and the market that we're discussing today, East Pune, is something that we know quite a lot about because we've roamed on these streets on our bikes outside. So that's like we have a lot of insights of this area, and like you rightly said, we're learners, ever learning, and very glad to share the stage with.
Hopefully, your learnings will help our viewers also learn, right? Great. Juzer.
My name is Juzer. I am into real estate since past 16 years. Adi zindagi of my life I have given to real estate, and I'm still learning. They are learning, even I'm learning. Real estate is ever changing. Pune is growing. From past 3 years, it's growing at a very fast pace. But as Pune grows, I go older with Pune, and we're learning. Real estate is a market which is never ending, and everything.
Great. Great to have that quick introduction. And one key thing that we've established is learning, right? So let's deep dive into our core discussions, right? Have learnings from this podcast. Let's, for me and for the viewers, help us understand what exactly is East Pune market. What are the different localities that are there, and in terms of what are the premium locations.
When we talk about East Pune, we start from Goregaon Park, Viman Nagar, then coming towards Kharadi, Mundhwa, Keshav Nagar. Now we have annex, so we have Goregaon Park annex. We have got Kharadi annex.
Upper Kharadi.
Upper Kharadi. We've got
all these new terms. All these marketing terms have come up. Great.
They are hot markets. They're not just marketing terms, they're hot markets.
And they're getting hotter day by day. So that's the difference. One is very hot, one is getting hotter. So when we talk about Viman Nagar or the way we talk about Goregaon Park, they're already hot markets. They're saturated. They're great markets already. And their neighbors, which we call annex or upper or lower,
Upper, yeah.
XYZ, they're growing. And because of the support they get from their main parent, you can call, they are growing very fast.
Anything else you guys want to add about?
All right. So I'll just add on to what Juzair said. The reason for this growth is it's an entire life cycle. Like we spoke earlier, once you enter Pune, you come to Pune for studies. Majority of the influx out here is students, like in Viman Nagar.
I'm an example.
Exactly. आप आते हो पुणे, you fall in love with the city, you cannot leave it. You come to Pune as a student, you look for housing in Viman Nagar, rental housing. आपको नौकरी लगती है, आप खराड़ी में ऑफिस में आपका प्लेसमेंट हो जाता है, you look for housing out there. आप थोड़े पैसे कमा लेते हो, आप इन्वेस्टर बन जाते हो, आप कल्याणी नगर में इन्वेस्ट करोगे. तो पूरा ऐसा लाइफ साइकिल है. दैट्स हाउ दिस मार्केट इज इवॉल्विंग. एंड कीपिंग दैट इन माइंड, रेंटल का भी बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग डिमांड है, आउटराइट सेल का भी डिमांड है, फ्रेश प्रोजेक्ट्स का भी है.
Very good person.
हाँ.
The journey starts from migrants coming into to start to learn to educated as students, right? And Pune is historically has been a education hub. Sorry.
And as you said, it's not just the person who's coming. I have seen that person putting 10 more people towards Pune. So if I talk about myself, I moved here to study. Then my father is retired. So because of my father, his friends who were settled abroad started taking interest in Pune.
Exactly.
So they became my investors. They said, Baba, you are staying there, you are here already, and you know the market. Advise us where we can, invest. Where they started coming. Looking at them, so it becomes a chain.
Network effects.
So before it was like, come here, study, and then leave back to your base. But now people are settling in Pune because they're getting that.
Like job opportunity. I think with education and job opportunities getting aligned, right? So that journey continues. Otherwise, you study and then you move out to a different place to get. I think we see a lot of that. Say, for example, in a lot of cities, right? So these hubs, like Bangalore or Pune or Gurgaon, for that matter, right, attract a lot of people for work.
Yeah.
But I think Pune is well positioned to attract first as students and then the workplace.
That's the strongest point of Pune, that a person comes here as a very young individual and then he falls in love with that city and then he grows up with the city. So that's the strongest point that Pune has.
Understood. And from just to get the focus on the East Pune market, and that this phenomena is largely reflective of East Pune than West Pune. Is that a good way to say, or it is homogeneous all across Pune?
Same story across Pune. It's just the priority of the location. Which location that you came and you studied there.
Which are the from education hubs? What are the main colleges that attract a lot of students?
Multiple places. Symbiosis is there in this place as well. SB Road is.
Last year as well.
And largely most of these are East Pune only, right?
Surrounding East Pune, connected. All are connected to each other. SB is go towards west side, I think. So these places are. So Simbi is there in multiple places. Then there is MIT. There's Bodias College. Then there is Sihangan for DY Patil College. DY Patil is there. Yeah.
Oxford of the East for a reason.
Oxford of the East.
Yeah. Affinity colleges, there's endless opportunities here. Look, kidhar na kidhar to you will get admission in some of the other places in Pune. There's Pune College. So that is also one of the oldest colleges. My father has studied in Pune College.
Wow.
That was 35 years, 40 years back. So he was one of the first students, I think, of Pune College.
Great to hear that how Pune offers, or East Pune actually also offers this entire spectrum of life, right? From a student to retiring and having a life here, right? So great to hear that. Now all of this is very good for real estate.
Yeah.
Right? So now let's get into understanding the insights or drivers right now, the trends that are happening. What do you see in terms of sales, rental, what's happening in the market?
So let's start with Kharadi. So Kharadi ke andar IT आना चालू हुआ. Slowly we started seeing people migrating towards Kharadi to stay as well. And that led to a development not just in Kharadi but across Kharadi, because the rents which were nearby the companies, they started increasing much faster. So people started living in the nearby areas of Kharadi as well. So see,
कौन से which are those like
Wagholi and one side, other side we have Keshav, Kalyan, Mundhwa. So these spaces also started going. And the builders started taking interest not just in Kharadi but the nearby areas as well. And now we have giants, big brands. They are looking at Mundhwa, Keshav Nagar, and they are trying to explore this market as well, because this is really close to both the sides. In fact, Magarpatta and Kharadi. So these two centers are there, and in the middle of that, we have Keshav Nagar, Mundhwa, which is growing at a very fast pace.
Yash, Siddhant, anything?
So one of the major reasons, like you mentioned, is the influx of IT. Many IT parks have opened up in Kharadi. Because of that, the surrounding, you look for residential projects as well. Another big growth factor to this was the Kharadi bypass road, which from Ashokanagar all the way up to Magarpatta. The construction of this road, when this took place, it opened a huge demand for houses out here, because this infra that led to the inflow of population also out here. Keeping in mind, since you're talking about Kharadi.
Interesting.
And another interesting point is the entire development of Kharadi, the internal roads of Kharadi, that was done up by Panchil Realty. So they developed the entire internal roads. They made Kharadi a top class location. Everything spick and span,
Two
wide
major
roads,
players, Aisha, Panchil and Gira.
Panchil and Gera.
This have noticed that generally more than government, private developers, when they do development, right?
Yeah.
That adds to real estate value, because they have invested interest, right, to build up a location, right? They have a visit triple, right? They have similarly, I think same, right? If you see, given that we I stay in Bombay, so I look at it as how a Powai got developed by Hiranandani, right? He's built that the roads, the amenities, everything has been built up there, and it becomes a great residential come commercial experience, right? I think I can clearly see that similarities, that how in Kharadi developers like Panchil or Gera have actually built it to, and benefiting everyone now, right? All developers taking the benefit of that. Very good point.
We have seen this happening everywhere. Like the giants, the big brands, they take interest at a particular place, and then that place just booms. It has happened at multiple places in Pune. East is one of the biggest examples, because Panchil, Gera, these two giants took good interest in this location, and Magarpatta was developed.
Right.
And then because of these two phases, that entire road which he mentioned, Yash mentioned, that road played a big role
Big role.
in the development of this entire location.
And now it's not just Kharadi, not just prime Kharadi. We moved on to upper Kharadi. मतलब आपने Kharadi annex, yeah, right. आपने मतलब 20-25 साल पहले आप इमेजिन भी नहीं कर सकते थे कि यहाँ पे प्रोजेक्ट आएगा. जंगल थे. अभी सर वहाँ पे लाइन लगा के माल देख रहे हैं.
I would like to correct you, not
Yeah.
even 20-25 years.
Exactly.
He said 10 years back.
10 years back.
Yeah.
10 years back. Well, we used to travel to those places that I've recently been there, the Upper Kharadi.
Upper Kharadi.
And I see the top builders are there. And if you still see, it's still developing. That location is still developing. But the way they've all gathered at that same, that's, I can say it's a stretch of 120 or 200 acres. In that, we have 5 to 6 major players. We have Mahindra, we have got Loda, Zoda, we have got Budrej, we have
V2P.
VDB there. So all big players of Pune, they are just clustered.
So this is a good point, right? So Siddhant, I would like to bring you here. You see some of the names that you mentioned, right? Top pan-India developers bhi aa gaye hain. I think historically local players were dominant, but now there is a sudden what is it that you are seeing that is getting all of them here, and any changes that you want to highlight here?
In Iraq, there is a brand from Chennai as well, Casa Grand, that's also coming
Yeah.
up there. So it's not just the big players, like smaller players from other cities are also showing interest, because it's like a very growing market, ever growing. And like he rightly said, Kharadi is close to that. Like Kharadi Annex is coming up, Upper Kharadi is coming up. So like we already know that Kharadi is very saturated. So it's expanded to Kharadi Annex, like we discussed. So it's not just brands from the local brands that are coming on, brands from Pune is there. We have brands from Chennai that is also coming up out there, Casa Gang. And why they are showing confidence is because they have bigger other brands that are placed over there, like Godrej, Lodha, VTB. So that is the interest that this market is also attracting over there.
But why is this trend? Large developers are coming in across India to this market. Anything has changed in the recent?
So it's basically, it all comes down to the FSI that people have to like use completely. So earlier people used to get like 1.25 day to the FSI banta tha. But now you're getting like FSI, ancillary FSI till 4, 5.
Oh, so now larger projects can be on a similar size of plot. You're right.
Basically. So that is attracting a lot of interest of these bigger developers and the local ones from other cities.
Because bigger developers would want to have larger project
Yeah.
revenues, right?
Maximize
Maximize resource. If a developer wants to come in and say, I want a 500 crore revenue top line, the FSI that is there now, and when did this change? Is it a recent change or it's been a few years?
Five, 6 years. And I just have this.
It coincides, right? With these lot of developers have started.
This point of FSI is very important for the bigger brands because they like to they like to make a landmark wherever they go. So if let's say Lodha is coming in, he wouldn't want to make something of 10 floors or 15 floors. क्या भाई एक project है लगाओ. They want to make their presence felt in that market. So whenever a pan-India brand is coming, whenever a big name is coming, the FSI point matters to them a lot because they can make that kind of an impact. That okay, this is my project at this.
Load it up with 100 amenities,
Exactly.
right?
That's
Everything
it.
that
So
they go all out, right? So basically, then so is it correct to say that we've also seeing a transition of projects which are smaller, 1-2 towers to now having a large township type of projects now in Pune, right? I think classic. Again, something that we know of even from not being in Pune is a Magarpatta Township, right? That came in much earlier, like how a large township can be, right?
It's a small city within Kodi.
it's a city within a city.
It's a city within a city.
Ecosystem in itself. As an IT park, it has so many amenities as well over there, like multiple gyms.
And I think that is now like a template for many developers, large developers to may not be at that scale, but of course the aspiration is to create mini townships.
Almost all big names try to acquire a bigger piece of land where they can make a entire, we can say, a structure according to them. That this is what I've taken, this is what I'll make as per my vision. So they'll go for 50 acres, they'll go for 100 acres, and they tell their.
Can we highlight some of these large projects that are currently undergoing or have just been completed?
Pride World City, which I have seen.
How many units?
It's huge. It's a township. It's a township, 100 acres, I think.
Or this is which part of East Pune?
This is towards, sorry?
Dhanori side.
Dhanori side. So, and that place has changed the entire viewpoint of Dhanori. Before Dhanori was considered that still is there. But now I know people who are at a very good position in the companies are staying in tribal city, and the place is amazing. The overall vibe of.
Correct. So one large project can actually change the vision of that locality itself, right? How it is viewed. Great. Any other examples? Pride.
Business City is coming by Kumar. Right. It's there in Manjri. That's also quite a big project, and they're developing it into parts. They have a vision. Basically, they don't want to have a great project, and then next to it there is something which is not in synchronization of that. So they want to create a place which is completely designed according to their mentality. That okay, I have this, I've given you schools, I've given you running. So that's the way they want to go for now.
But ये जो भी दो example थे ये फिर भी मेरे को पुणे के लगे. Any other outside Godrej or the Shapurjis of the world कुछ बनाए उन्होंने यहाँ पे which is large or Lodha? हाँ? They are still.
Godrej, Lodha is also.
That is not huge. There are Godrej in Kharadi itself. They have a huge land parcel. Godrej Skyline. I'm not getting the.
That's in Mundhwa.
Mundhwa.
Skyline.
So
Godrej?
Skyline.
Skyline.
The whole thing is so big that the land area they have is quite big. So it's, I think, expanding from that location up till Kharadi, where they have acquired land at Kharadi as well. So maybe they're not connected, but Godrej wants its presence felt in that
Right.
entire
And,
east.
No, actually, so
they're
as we
coming up with
discussed.
different locations
So if
within
you're
East.
traveling on a road, if it's a straight road of let's say 3 kilometers or 4 kilometers, and you see Godrej at multiple places, we feel like a township itself. Either be Godrej, either be Godrej. Same thing with VTP, that they have multiple projects in the same area. Mahindra is also.
Mahindra and now in Gera World
Gera
of Joy.
now,
Gera, it's an
Manchi and
entire
Gera.
ecosystem in Kharadi.
Yeah, anywhere you
World-
look, child
Yeah.
oriented, this
Child
there,
oriented, child-centric
So
homes.
your child-centric home. So you will see Gera at every, the minute you turn your head on left, you'll see there's Gera board over there, all right? So they want their presence to be felt. If someone knows Kharadi, they will know
They
Gera.
will
If
know
someone
Gera.
knows Kharadi, they will know Parshi. That's what they're
That's a
doing.
landmark happening out there. Yeah. So I just want to add, like you mentioned, so many projects are coming up. There's a reason for this because there is a strong demand. Developers know there is a demand, so they are launching new projects out here. So I'll just give you an example. Since you're talking about Kharadi, in Kharadi there was this place called Chokidhani. It was like a cultural experience center. I'm talking about 20-25 years ago. Majority of these plots are in that layout of Chokidhani. So 20 years ago, if you'd go to buy an acre of land in Chokidhani, 25 years, it would cost you 4 lakh rupees. अभी वहाँ पे फ्लैट भी आपको 2.5 करोड़ में नहीं मिलेगा सर. 3 BHK का फ्लैट भी आपको 2-2.5 करोड़ के रेट में मिलेगा. So just imagine the transition, the growth because of the demand.
So from pricing perspective also, so FSI, so just to, so what I'm learning is that change of FSI from say 1 to 4 to 5 and the phenomenal price growth is both attracting a lot more developers, both local and pan India, not just pan India, even local developers from other cities are coming into
Developers are not scared or not shadowed by the pan India developers. In fact, they're taking full advantage of that.
Right.
They're really happy that the bigger names are coming next to them. So if my price is say 60 lakh rupees, if I thought of a price of 60 lakh rupees for my particular project, and a much bigger brand comes next to me, and he starts selling his product for 95 lakh rupees, then my vision, my mindset, my customer changes from 65 to 75. I would tell my customer, मैं अपने customer को clearly बोल सकता हूँ कि भाई उधर 90.
But generally, what have you seen as a premium difference between, say, a tier one pan India developer or a tier one local developer versus a
It's a significant difference. The bigger players, they make sure that there is a difference.
And also
They want to be differentiated.
Yeah. Also depends on the size of the house that they're making. Like a smaller developer would have made smaller houses. And the bigger developer would have made bigger houses.
But you will see the change at the basic per square feet price only. That at the size of the both the bigger players, they make sure even if it means slower sales for them, they will quote a higher price than
हजार-
their neighbors, the local ones.
1,000-1,500 रुपए का per square foot फर्क आ ही जाता है.
Has to relieve the demand.
Yeah.
1,000 rupees per square
1,000,
1,000 rupees
1,500,
per square feet.
1,000, 1,500 per square.
and मतलब base rates in terms of percentage कितना हो गया है? अगर 1,500 है तो in terms of percentage is it 10 to 15%? So 10,000 का 11,500 ना? Great. So good to know the difference of pricing as well. But Siddhant, you just said an interesting point, right? कि बड़ा developer बड़ा बना रहा है, छोटा developer थोड़ा छोटा बना रहा है. Now I want to extend this discussion into what are, so we get to hear this, right, across India, right, that post COVID larger houses, जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा types चल रहा है, where apartment sizes are increasing. What are you seeing as trends?
My understanding of this is a bit different than what Yash said. I think maybe I feel bigger developers are making smaller houses,
Yeah.
bigger sizes, and the local ones are trying to compensate that part by giving bigger houses. The competition part where they're standing in the competition is that the bigger developers have their brand names, and I can give the customer something that they're not getting over there. That's the size. So instead of me, competing with the same size, I would give them a larger square feet area, carpet area, which can help me get my sales as well.
Understood.
So
ठीक है, so the very good point that actually you see that larger developers offer a smaller area, right? Because they have to charge premium. But maybe yes.
Yes, definitely. Yes. But yeah, it depends on the developer. They would definitely aim for larger house and larger premium as well. So, like you can see, Lodha is like a very premium name. And there is this one project in Bangar. It's called Ludhawa. So they're making houses worth like 20 CR plus. We just recently heard that a 27 CR का deal हुआ.
Rupees 7 CR. So Pune is seeing. So Pune में as such largest deal sizes क्या है अभी क्या चल रहे हैं मतलब 27 I think it would be one of the highest.
One of the highest, yeah, like you mentioned.
So which are these just a detour in terms of which are the projects that are the highest value projects right now in the market that we're discussing?
In terms of rate, I would say definitely Trump Towers in Kalyani Nagar is one of them.
Yes, sir. And the ticket size.
I think उनका rate 25 से 30 हजार रुपए per square foot से ज़्यादा ही जाएगा. It's in that range.
And the ticket size.
The pricing goes 20 CR plus, I think.
Exactly.
The size
30 CR plus.
Okay, so any other projects which command similar or more?
very few.
Very few. So Lodha one would be a competition segment in that.
So that's the beauty of Pune. See, in the most luxurious projects, you get in a rate of 25 to 30, 35,000 a square feet in that bracket. Now, if you compare that to Bombay, how are the rates out there per square feet? And now, if that same investor comes to Pune, he'll get the same amount of luxury in less than half the price, maybe. So that's another reason why so many investors are coming in out here. Not only end users, there are investors from Bombay also coming in.
Because you're right, right? It's a good topic to discuss that comparing Bombay and Pune, right? So when you are saying Pune ka highest is 25-30,000 rupees per square feet, then it is much lesser than some of the areas in Bombay, and these are like the clean segments of Pune, right?
Yeah, right.
So in fact, it's a good point to good section to understand in terms of comparison, right? What kind of comparison do you draw of a Pune locality to a Bombay locality, right? So like you said, right, Goregaon Park, right? What would you compare it to, say, in a Bombay?
I think you should take this.
I think definitely you would go with Bandra for that matter. Because Goregaon Park has those kind of cafes that vibe. And Bandra is pretty much the same. Like every other day you see a new cafe that's coming up.
Very nice. Any other localities that you think are comparable to Bombay markets?
I think Boat Club, maybe you can say it's Kolaba. Peaceful houses like Kolaba, how it is nice greenery. Maybe to a certain extent, I would say Boat Club is similar to Kolaba.
So Pune generally, we hear when we compare it to other cities, right, is
Considered to be an affordable city, but for the last few years, we've seen prices going up in terms of overall ticket sizes that consumers prefer, and also increasing and moving towards luxury. And I
hear often that luxury is more often easier to sell than or selling more than affordable.
Yeah.
What are the reasons for this?
One of the most important reasons is the price of the land. Demand बड़ा, जगह कम होते जा रही है. Prices are shooting up of the land, and the owners of the land, the locals, have become much more smarter, much more calculative, and much more dominant towards the deals of the land. Before they were like, in that hesitation कि हाँ माल बिकेगा नहीं बिकेगा मुझे बेचना है. आज की तारीख में वो हो गया है कि बिल्डर को खरीदना है. They have the upper hand because the second generation has become much more smarter, educated. They know what they have. They know the demand of the market. They have done their surveys, their market research, and they are hiring people who can actually advise them on what rate they should sell or if they should go for a joint venture. This joint venture has also increased a lot in Pune.
only about
Before it was just that I have a piece of land, you take it, you do whatever you want to be. Now I want to be involved.
Exactly.
With your partners, say 60-40, 50-50, and they should take up their share of the project. And this has become a very active trend in Pune.
Exactly.
Because of these kind of changes, they drive that change in the price as well.
So मतलब raw material ही इतना महंगा हो गया है.
So just adding on to what Juzer bhai said, since you're talking about joint ventures, joint development agreements, one of the main reasons what I feel is why it has become so popular, like he rightly mentioned, the land prices have really shot up. So as a developer, to invest that much in the land on the day one, मैंने पहले land खरीदा इतने करोड़ों का, फिर उसके ऊपर मैं construct करूँगा. Rather, if I get an opportunity for a joint venture, I tie up with the landowner. Sir, ये 40% माल आपका, बाकी मेरा. So that's a lesser investment.
Yes, upfront investment.
Upfront
So
investment.
that I think is a very common way to now of development across major cities, because land price में अगर ज़्यादा cost चला गया, it also puts a lot of pressure on the balance sheet of the developer, and if things go wrong, or demand slows down, the developer becomes a lot more stressed compared to a joint venture or joint development.
Since the time, this is what I think, that since the time RERA has become so active, they are keeping a good tab on the builders as well. It's like, so now builders are very careful in their purchase of land or doing the GV. They don't want to over exceed their capabilities of the construction. They know this is what I can spend on construction. So instead of going ahead and buying the property, if I can do joint venture, it gives me more room, more breathable space to invest my money. And they can do the most important point here is they can do multiple projects at a time. Correct. That has increased the demand. पहले क्या था, एक project, even if the biggest builder comes in the scene, if he takes up a land parcel of 10 acres, he's stuck there. He's stuck because all his money is gone in purchasal of that property and then developing it. Now what he's doing is taking up 5 projects where he can distribute that money equally. He doesn't have to purchase that plot. He can work with the landowner, and then that increases the number of project overall growth in real estate market becomes for affordable for the builders, right?
And this is not just affordable for the builders, it's a win-win for the landowner as well. Because if today he would have sold his raw land, he would get X rate. But now he's getting built up, he's getting ready constructed units on that. So maybe he's getting X into 40%, X plus 30%. So it's a win-win for both. And plus for the end user as well, since there are more options coming up. So he has a larger boutique to choose from.
Honest. And it's an advantage, again, adding to what Yash said. Why is an advantage for the landowners is he has the right to decide that even after selling or doing the joint venture, I still can have what he has made. मतलब plot गया है लेकिन वो जगह मेरे पास समझ गया. So it's that is true. It's not completely gone off my hand. I can keep it, I can rent it, I can sell it off later on, I can keep it as my investment for the future. So this trend has become a very profitable deal for the landowners as well.
Very, very interesting point.
It was another notable trend that we are seeing because East Pune, if you see the immediate areas in East Pune, Goregaon Park, Kalyani, Nagar, Viman, these areas are saturated. There's not much land available. So a lot of these vendors are also going to redevelopment in these areas. So it's a very nascent trend, but it's on the rise. That is something to be noted.
So basically, there's two kinds of supply now. One is the land that people are getting into joint development, and the other trend that you're highlighting is that some of the societies which are saturated and now old are getting into redevelopment, and marquee developers are looking at such. So, any example that you want to highlight of a redevelopment that is in discussion or has happened?
So one of the main reasons, I'll just give you a little backstory to this. One of the main reasons is you can divide East Pune into various pockets. So this redevelopment is most famous in the pocket, I would say, of Kalyani Nagar as of today, because majority of the projects out there are 20, 25 years old. There is a lot of demand for luxury segment, but there is no land. So what do? We approach these older projects. We ask them to come on board for redevelopment. So taking the example of Kalyani Nagar forward, we've got Malpani in Kalyani Nagar, they've come here. We've got Pristine in Kalyani Nagar who've come for redevelopment. So it is a growing trend now.
So the trend has changed in Pune. Why the prices have increased? One of the biggest reasons is the land prices. That पहले जो owners थे, शेतकरी थे यहाँ के पुणे के, they were desperate to sell. When the Pune market was growing, they wanted to sell their properties. Now the market has changed. The landowners have become much more smarter. They are much more calculative. They know what they exactly want. Before it was like सुबह प्लॉट बिका है, शाम को स्कॉर्पियो बुक हो गया, वो माइंडसेट था. अभी जो उनकी सेकेंड जनरेशन आई है, they know where and what to do with that money, where whom to sell or to do the joint ventures. That's joint venture.
In fact, just to add here, in fact, I have heard that most of the second generation guys have actually studied abroad and come and join this business. So they are far more calculated, as you said. Right?
Yes, they, in fact, one more thing that they personally, the landowners have become developers.
Correct. That also is a trend. A lot of
In the outskirts, I have a lot of friends who just own land and they were selling. Their fathers were selling, their grandfathers were selling the land. Now the generation has come, they said that we don't want to sell our land. It is our land. We will develop this land. So they themselves have become developers along with.
So would love to understand from you guys that, given that you're doing deals on a regular basis, यार rates कैसे change हुए हैं in the last 10-15 years of operations that you've been operating in, ki rates from both, say, selling side and renting side, and maybe how it's different in some of these localities in the East Pune, right? Each market will have some differences also. So which are trading at a higher premium, which are trading at a lower premium? Maybe you want to start?
See, when we talk about East Pune, I have seen Viman Nagar, Kalyani Nagar. Goregaon Park was always on the higher side. जो higher side हम बोलते हैं उस time पे तो it was much different. So we have seen Kalyani Nagar, Viman Nagar, where 2 BHKs. I'll talk about all-inclusive prices. We could get 2 BHKs at the rate of 40 lakhs, 40 lakhs, something like that.
35.
And 35, 40 lakhs. That was considered very expensive at a point of time. And now those same apartments will cost you 2 CRs.
So बोलते थे कौन जाएगा इतना तो
कौन जाएगा?
विमान नगर में, हाँ, जो एयरपोर्ट, नियर द एयरपोर्ट.
कल्याणी नगर जो कोरेगांव पार्क से अब कल्याणी नगर अभी आती है, वो ब्रिज था ही नहीं पहले. आपको पूरा येरवाड़ा से घूम के आना पड़ता था. कल्याणी नगर सर मतलब जंगल था, उधर कोई जाता ही नहीं था. जैसे जुजैर भाई ने बोला कि कोरेगांव पार्क में 30-40 लाख के फ्लैट बिकते थे, कल्याणी नगर में 15-20 लाख के फ्लैट बिकते थे. आज वो सेम सोसाइटी में,
This is a period of 10 years?
no, it's over
15 years.
15-20 years, maybe 20 odd years you can say. 15-20 लाख में आपको फ्लैट मिलता था. आज वो सेम सोसाइटी में आपको 3 करोड़ में घर नहीं मिलेगा.
Same society.
Yes, depending on how well the society is maintained.
No, because at least those societies still older, no? They amenities and all of those will be location, but still.
Example, which is of my own house. My father had come down to book a flat in Pune. This was not in East Pune, it was in Salisbury Park.
Right.
Okay. And Salisbury Park ke andar my dad came to Pune. He had the cash in his hand. But because of some reasons, he couldn't move. Now the project that he had gone to was Barton Port, I think, in Salisbury Park. So the price was somewhere around 11.5 to 12 lakh rupees. That was a very high price at that time. He had come 30 years back, 35 to 30 years back. This is what I'm talking about. And 12 lakhs he was going to book. Something happened, he cancelled. Cut to today, 6 months back, I was dealing with a flat in that same society for 2.5 CR.
So this is so great to see that over a large period ये change आया है. But if you have to compare in the last 3-4 years, rates कैसे change हुए हैं?
Let's talk about 5 years. 5 years back, we could find apartments in Viman Nagar, Kalyani Nagar for 80 odd lakhs, 80 lakhs, somewhere around. Now it's for 1.25 CR. 1 crore 25 lakhs, 1 crore 30 lakhs, 1 crore 10, somewhere in that range. So we are seeing that gradual price rise every year. It is not that the rents have gone up really high. 20,000 was a cap.
2 BHK.
2 BHK, yeah, maximum. Now it has gone to 45, 50,000 at paces. And premium societies, it's going up to 65,000.
Which are the premium societies that command 65,000?
You can take an example of Clover in Kalyani Nagar. Clover commands a very high rate, and well maintained, all amenities, everything is there. Another example can be Panchil Waterfront.
Yeah, these are all high demand. These are high. And even though the rates are so high, we don't find places there to give our leisure types. So that is the
Even जो premium.
Exactly. If those
that
societies,
was not the case in Pune before, sir. Before, the high-end societies were usually lying empty. We used to, I used to live in Goregaon Park in 2013, 2014. That time, a lot of owners who were investors in Goregaon Park used to come to us because they were NRIs. And they used to come to us saying that we want to rent out of base. But the rent demand was so high because the maintenance was so high. And the cost of the property was so high, they were demanding higher rents. And the flats were lying empty. Marigold, I think, is one of the examples that I had.
right.
For a long period of time, there was a flat which was lying empty in Marigold for 2.5 years.
Wow.
आज आप उधर देखने
So clearly वो एक shift हुआ है that premiumness is getting far more attention than earlier, right?
The thing is, it's closer to the center of the city. These immediate areas like Kalyani Nagar, Goregaon Park. It was closer to the center of the city. Connectivity wise, abhi traffic bhi
एक चीज मैं नोटिस किया अगेन एज अ ऑब्जर्वर राइट दैट a lot of examples that you're highlighting are all in amounts, not in per square feet rates. Yeah, I think that's a clear difference that I see from Bombay. A Bombay mindset is all largely per square feet.
Yeah.
ठीक है यहाँ पे it is largely full ticket size. ये मेरे को clear.
Right, past 5 years. Before, I never knew how to talk about all-inclusive price. It was always per square feet for me as well, because I was dealing in land for a good long period of time. So for me, it was always about per square feet. But in these past 5 years, we have changed that from per square feet rate to all inclusive total price. See boards, even if you see the hoardings, you will find all-inclusive price only in holding, because
तो क्या रीजन है इसके पीछे?
RERA has made it mandatory to sell on carpet. Now we have to market everything as per carpet area. So when you try to find the per square feet rate of an apartment in carpet, it'll look crazy. So people said that, okay, stop doing this. Now let's go for all inclusive price. Even the negotiations nowadays in Pune are happening on all inclusive price. Even though it should not be happening, because it has a lot of different factors, stamp duty, registration, amount भी है, उसमें GST भी है, तो वो होना नहीं चाहिए. But that is what is happening.
Because traditionally what you're saying is that super built up area पे rates quote होते थे. As soon as carpet becomes mandatory and you translate it into carpet rates, वो काफी shoot up हो जाते हैं and
30%, 40% low.
and consumers will just go bonkers कि ये rate पे मैं कैसे
They will not
खरीदूं?
be able to digest the rate. Basically, they will not be able to digest the rate.
So it's a shift that it's great to see that from because of RERA, Pune market has seen कि it's a rate carpet area market हो रहा है, but from a per square feet rate marketing, you've moved to a all inclusive or a box price concept, and everything is now getting marketed in that.
I would still like to highlight that this is more for an end user where they talk about the all inclusive. But अगर आप आज भी investor के साथ बैठोगे, he'll to ask you कि मेरा per square foot कितना पड़ा? What do you think?
Investors don't register the property.
Exactly.
उनको वो सब चीजों से मैटर करता ही नहीं है. My matter is how much do I have to pay you and how much do I earn out of it. So I think when we talk about, so that is, of course, that point is still there. When we talk about land deals, still per square feet or bit. But majority of the people who are buying the end product.
The majority are end users.
So
Majority are
तो
end
उसके
users.
हिसाब से वो all inclusive price हमारे लिए बहुत.
Yeah, end users just want to know मेरे को इतना square foot मिला, इतने का पड़ा घर पे.
Yes.
That's what they're bothered about.
And even the builders are marketing it in that manner only. They are not
Exactly.
paying for what square feet price. ये इसका price है. This is your flat size. This is the price that we give you. As simple as that.
Great. So given that we've discussed a lot of how growth has happened and the positives about the market and the trends. Now I would want you to focus for our viewers. What are the potential challenges that you guys see for this market going forward?
So basically, the thing is, challenges are in every market, as we rightly know, in Bombay as well, in Pune as well. It depends on the area that we're talking about. Like currently now in East Pune, Kalyani Nagar, Goregaon Park, Viman Nagar, these are all saturated markets. So basically, the thing is that इसके वजह से traffic तो definitely हम देख रहे हैं बढ़ रहा है, and we're getting traffic jams everywhere. People are taking a lot of time to reach their offices, and these are like office-centric areas, Kharadi, Viman Nagar, all of this. So the main issue is कि अभी metro बन गया है पुणे में. Everyone knows it's a metropolitan city now. So connectivity is still very limited because the roads in these compact areas it's quite less. Like supply कम है basically. So the metro is going to take a lot of time to stretch to these areas. So people to have better connectivity. So basically, traffic is like one of the biggest issues.
And because of traffic, do you see people moving out of these? Is there a trend that because of this traffic, people are preferring other locations or still just managing with this?
I think जिसको area पसंद आ रहा है, people know that they like the area. They can
Correct,
get
you're
out
right.
of that area.
Yeah.
But Pune has been also very notorious for a smaller width of roads because of its traffic and a lot of two-wheeler traffic compared to other
One
cities.
of the highest.
One of the highest two-wheeler
All
traffic.
over India.
So now there have been steps. अभी if you see the Goregaon Park road, the North Main road, वहाँ पे road widening का काम चालू है. Out there they're taking care of the traffic. pretty well out there. Silver Road widening, they widened the bridge as well. So traffic has come under control. And at the end of the day, it is up to the buyer, like you mentioned, ki if you're settled in that area. If I'm working in that area, so I look for a house also in that area, irrespective of the traffic. I'll stay in that ecosystem. My son's school, my children's school will be there, my work will be there, my living will be there. So it is not a very major challenge, I would say. It is.
And these challenges are in every city, like Bombay, for example. अभी आप देख रहे हो मतलब बॉम्बे का ट्रैफिक तो पहले से ही इनफेमस है. So that's the thing, like people love that area. Like people are not going to move out of Bandra because of that heavy traffic. They like the area, they've grown up over there. Whatever, second, third generation, they're not going to leave the area. So the second challenge that we are facing is with regards to FSI. Like everyone wants to maximize their FSI on the land that they have. Everyone wants a higher turnover, definitely. So that's the basic point of every land owner or a builder who comes to that place. कि वो mindset से आते हैं कि हमको FSI maximize करना है. And because of that, the open air, the ventilation is reducing. Like you are seeing all these bigger parks that are coming up everywhere. But वो तो definitely is bound to happen everywhere. And like in these saturated areas, people still prefer these higher buildings, higher rises, because the elevation is nice. They're getting good quality, standard of living bhi hai. They're getting good amenities and closed spaces for that matter. I mean, open spaces for that matter. वो काफी कम हो गया.
But I see that when you say everyone is trying to maximize FSI, that would, in the near term or medium term, also put a lot of supply into the market because everyone is building larger projects. So that would also indirectly mean or directly mean actually that pricing growth will be moderate going forward and not be crazy.
Correct.
Let us say the graph is going like this right now. So after a certain point of time, it will start going like this. Because
And that's healthy for the market as well. But we've seen a lot of large projects coming in. Some of the examples that we've already highlighted. अगर ऐसे ही और 10-15 project everyone tries to launch, it will put a lot of competitive pressure in the market.
At the end of the day, real estate is a cyclical industry. It's a cyclic industry. Sometimes there is demand, sometimes the demand is slightly on the lesser side. So you must keep in mind that it's a cyclic
Very
industry.
good point that you brought in, Yash, here. Where are we in that cycle now? Because we've seen great growth. Do you guys see that it is almost at the peak right now, or there's still some
no
time?
I feel it's still time for Pune. Another type of areas, Pune is going to keep rising up. The reason behind that, my theory is that we are seeing that as we started with this, that the younger generation has studied here. Now they are working here and they are settling here now. So वो जो portion है जहाँ पे लोग पढ़ के निकले हैं वो अभी young हैं और उनकी जो second generation है वो इधर ही रहना चाहती है. वो population की growth जारी ही है अभी. वो अभी बहुत young है. पहले क्या था वो Pune was just a place to relax. Army people used to come here, chill, and then they used to go back. Now people are actually making Pune their home, and that trend is growing. It's not stagnant or it's not.
And as long as that trend is there, real estate will continue to have a.
We are seeing Pune had a very small radius. Now a lot.
So the other challenge for price growth, from a perspective of people who wanting to invest, it will be very difficult to have a large price growth because the city can expand, right? And as such, core markets may not get a much higher rates continuously because the market continues to grow forward.
ऊपर नीचे तो होता ही
Right?
रहता है.
Unlike a Bombay market where it is landlocked, यहाँ पे you can go in circles, which keeps it always moderate, right? And not unrealistic. And we've discussed, right? Even the highest price, if it is 25 to 30,000, it means that it is always going to keep prices in check in the core markets always, right?
But I feel, see, as you said, Mumbai has reached that point. Pune is reaching that point.
No, but I am saying that Bombay is a different market only because it is landlocked, right? Right? Say a better comparison would be Bangalore, right? You can keep expanding in all circles, all directions, and same would be Pune. So you will never be able to have like ultra premium rates for, of course, a developer can come in and create a product which will command a rate like that, high rate like that, but always because of the growth in.
Yeah, Bombay is also having Bombay 2, Bombay 3 also. And here, see, it's still development. Same thing is happening to Pune also. The core areas जिसका demand आज की तारीख में है, let's say we are talking about Goregaon Park. If people like Goregaon Park, people wants to stay at Goregaon Park, they're going to stay today. And after 10 years or 15 years also, the one who has that Goregaon Park ka charm in their mind, they will come there, they'll stay. That will keep the demand of Goregaon Park. That's like
But as you in the discussion only we said, right, how Kharadi has become a hub, right? I'm sure that in Pune, because of the circular growth, you will always have these newer hubs getting created,
exactly.
which will attract a far more younger audience, budget conscious audience, and they will become the next centers, right?
So just taking your example forward of Kharadi. So right next to Kharadi, we have this area called Wagholi. So basically the overflow of Kharadi, they go into Wagholi. So in that area is growing now. So just because how you said that from one area it sprouts into other areas. So that is one very good point which you mentioned.
And that keeps prices going out of control in Kharadi, right? Because Wagholi will develop. As soon as Wagholi goes out of control, I'm sure there will be
The next area.
the next area.
that kind of peace with the say that 100 crores and 50 crores and that will not happen.
That will not happen because of the, and that is healthy for
Yes.
end user demand always.
That's why it's a welcoming market.
There is a well market.
So coming back to the challenges, Siddhant, you highlighted that you feel that because of these larger developments, also the charm of the city, right, the open spaces, and as Juzer also said, right, कि यार relax करना था, but यहाँ तो
कुछ और ही हो गया.
कुछ ज़्यादा ही concrete जंगल बनते जा रहे हैं, right?
In that relaxing mindset, there are multiple things that I would like to highlight. Relaxing के लिए लोग आते थे, traffic कम होगा, जगह अच्छी होगी, pollution कम होगा. That has, gone down. Plus, Bombay people or people from other cities, they always thought कि I have a house of 600 square feet here, but in Pune I'll have something of 1,000 square feet or 1,500 square feet. Even that is, backfiring. Even that is going down. Pune is developing that mindset of smaller houses, smaller apartments to make it more affordable, as simple as that. So वो दो तीन चीज़ें हैं जो दिमाग में लोग लेके आते थे पुणे, जो कि अभी negative points, it's going on the negative manner. One he said is the traffic, second is that environment, overall pollution जो पुणे में zero था, शाम के 5 बजे वो हल्की से बारिश का ट्रेंड था पुणे के अंदर. People used to walk a lot here. We used to have a lot of walking streets here, and that charm was different. अब वो चीज़ थोड़ा decline हो गई है. तो जो वो एक
So you're also saying that you're also seeing the sizes of apartments also going down.
Yes.
Compared to earlier, because that is what will fit into the budget of people. So can you just throw some light on what is the average 2 BHK size here versus some of these smaller?
So earlier as in I'm talking about 20 odd years ago, maybe you would get a 2 BHK carpet of between 1,000 to 1,100 square feet carpet. Nowadays that same 2 BHK carpet has become 700 to 800 bracket.
And there are other projects that are coming up with 600, 650 also, like studio apartments or 2RK ऐसा बोल के marketing कर.
I think one of the major reasons why I would say this has happened is earlier the balconies, they were free of FSI. Yeah. Now the balconies are considered as FSI. Keeping that in mind, the carpet areas have also changed. And like we spoke about the loading factor. So earlier the loading was 15 to 25 odd % loading from carpet to super built up what you're talking about. So maybe a 1,000 square foot carpet would lead up to 1,200 square feet of super built up. But now that loading has gone as high as 35 to 42% in some areas. So that's how the size has also changed.
So super built up remains constant, 1,200.
Yeah.
Carpet has reduced, and that is what you have to now market.
Yeah.
Right.
So apartments are much shorter. So good point that you brought up, right? Balconies are now considered FSI. Are one of the common factors is कि balcony तो हर घर में होता है. Is it disappearing in some of the projects or?
Yes, before it was every room used to have a balcony. Now only the main living room has a balcony. Exactly. Second thing why the sizes are reduced is people want brands. They want bigger players now. Bigger players.
Amenities are more important than size of apartments.
So if you want to, even the bigger players wants to sell it to a broader market. So to make it affordable for them, they are giving the name of the brand, but the sizes have reduced. So पहले 8 फ्लोर पे 4 फ्लैट्स रहते थे, अभी वही 8 फ्लोर पे 6-8 फ्लैट्स। So that
और बालकनी 3 से 2 या 3 से 1 हो गया
See,
ऐसे
in fact, now there are buyers who come to us by saying, I have a demand. And you're like, what is your demand? It has become a demand that I want 2 balconies or 3 balconies. So we have to make sure that we search the older projects that has 2 or 3 balconies. And there are certain builders who are marketing their projects by saying, we have 2 balconies and we have a balcony in the bedroom. So that has become
Exactly. I would just adding on to that trend. So I think since we spoke so much about FSI, I think as per my, you can say a predicted or a calculated assessment, since there's so much FSI, everyone is going vertical, vertical, vertical. But if you zoom out a little and if you go into horizontal development, where you come up with a bigger plot, where you maybe offer row houses and bungalows with all sort of amenities, maybe that will sell faster than a vertical development project, and you'll be able to command a premium rate as well. Like we mentioned about the balconies, there are some luxury buyers who want that openness. So I think the market could go in that direction.
It is. We never thought that this will happen, but now having a balcony, multiple balconies, have become a luxury.
Exactly.
People are selling it as luxury product.
That's a luxury product.
People had to market it
We
specifically.
had 2 balconies, and as you mentioned, that vertical projects. There is a project by Yo Pune in Kharadi, which is selling at a premium rate.
You will ask.
You will
Yo Villas, right? So it is right next to all these other players. They are developing, vertical, and this guy has made a project right next to them, and the rate difference is
Huge, because it has to be, because you are not building more, you're building less. So you'll have to charge almost
Multiple times the rate.
Like you were discussing earlier, that people want to stay in that area where they are close to their office. And plus, you're getting something like this, like that has value, adding value to your like.
developers in most cities that I've seen, right? If you create a unique product, right, in a premium location, you can charge whatever you want.
Yeah.
And see, this
Definitely.
is such a product like we mentioned about you villas. It is beneficial for both the developer as well as the buyer. Reason being, why I'll tell you for the buyer, the possession timeline reduces drastically. आपको horizontal construct करना है. You don't have to go up. So possession timeline reduces drastically. You get your house quicker. So that is one very big advantage.
Correct. Great. So good to have all the points that we discussed, various points. Hopefully our viewers get insights from this entire discussion on what is happening in this market. Now I would want to move on to the next section, wherein I would want each one of you to share a unique story. This is a concept that we run across all our episodes, that we want you to share a unique story of a consumer or a buyer that you worked with and were, like taken by surprise or shock or whatever, right? It just stands out in your own journey, right? Juzer, why don't you start?
I have multiple. I have 2 stories that has taught me a lot. One of them being कि कस्टमर मेरे साथ 2012 से 2011 2012 से मेरे साथ टच में था. Every day or every alternate day I would post something that this property he would inquire. For a good 6.5 to 7 years, he just kept inquiring.
क्या
He used
तुम भी लगे हुए थे है कि
I was patient with him, not every time, but yeah, whenever and I knew that he's a person who can afford to buy, but his decision making was a bit slow. And I get my car. After 6.5 years, that person from that point, he purchased 7 properties from me. So it give yeah. So वो 6 साल का सब्र रखना वो आपको सिखाता है रियल एस्टेट, that you cannot be very blunt with any clients, you cannot be very aggressive, you have to keep your calm. That's what I learned with that client, and because of him I got multiple other customers as well.
So also I think relationship, right?
Everything.
You've invested in a relationship for years for one deal for generally one deal, and this attracted 7
Yes.
deals.
7 and multiple from his reference as well. He referred me to multiple other people, and they also what
Yash, you would want to highlight a story?
Yeah, so like you were saying that we need to be very patient with our clients. So one such story is I had one client who had really nurtured. I made him like one specific project. He was all ready. He was all ready. He was coming the next day to give the token. I'd arranged a meeting with the seller. The price quoted was 1.5 CR for that apartment. Everything done, convinced, he was ready to give the check. The next day we come, we meet the seller. The seller is saying, 2 crore से कम में नहीं बेचना है. Like, sir, क्या हो गया? क्यों? रीडेवलपमेंट की बात चल रही है, मैं नहीं बेच पाऊंगा ऐसे सस्ते में. And then the deal fizzled out, but surprisingly, a few months later, he actually managed to sell his apartment for 2 crores. That's just the power of redevelopment and how the rates are going to increase because of this.
So you're saying that for redevelopment, the new buyer also is interested in because redevelopment would mean that actually this property would will not get possession quickly because they will have to again move out and then the building will get rebuilt. So people are taking that bet. And
Exactly. So that's because it will be a premium.
As an
It's
investor.
an investment. Like you said, it's an investment.
so more investor getting into
Yep.
More of an investor moving from commercial to such projects where there is a potential for redevelopment, because you get an increase in the area. When your flat goes into redevelopment, you get an increased area offered to you.
And if it's a new project, your prices are definitely a little higher than the other ones over there. And this is
so redevelopment societies will attract investor type of.
Oh, 100%.
definitely, like I said,
If
it's a new-
somebody is in need of selling, great. Otherwise, most people will not want to sell also because they would want the
जिसको पता है,
advantage.
उसको पता है वो सोने पे बैठा है.
There's also pictures and also shows how your market research before selling your product or before buying the product.
Exactly.
What research you
That's key.
do matters. If you would have taken the token or if you would have sold the property and then उसको मालूम पड़ता है कि मेरे redevelopment में मेरा जाने वाला है, he would have just gone crazy. But the research which he did earned him 10 lakh rupees more.
Exactly. So you need to be aware. I think that's where Zapkey comes in.
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen that in many cases where buyers and sellers are able to negotiate far better.
Exactly.
With the data.
So if you're looking for a good redevelopment deal, follow 3 Realty. नहीं रहता है अपना.
Good plug-in. Siddhant, your story.
So basically, we had this one client with us, like a senior citizen, and they had been talking to us for like 4 months. और स्टार्ट से उन्होंने बोला था हमको कि मेरे को ये एक प्रोजेक्ट में मुझे एक घर चाहिए. एक सर्टेन प्रोजेक्ट था कोरेगांव पार्क में, एंड ही यूज्ड टू स्टे इन सेंट्रल पुणे कैंप एरिया, एंड ही हैज ग्रोन अप ओवर देयर. हिज सोसाइटी वाज गोइंग टू रीडेवलपमेंट. उनको कोरेगांव पार्क में चाहिए था क्योंकि उनके एक मुंह बोले भाई या कुछ तो वहाँ पे रहते थे. तो ऐसा हुआ कि 4 महीने तक हमने उनको आसपास के घर दिखाए, बिकॉज कोरेगांव पार्क में आपका सप्लाई तो बहुत ही अच्छा है, प्रीमियम हाउसेज एंड ऑल है. तो उनके वो बजट में उनको हमने एटलीस्ट 10 to 15 हाउसेज दिखाए रहेंगे. 4 महीने तक हमने वो सोसाइटी में ट्राई किया, ब्रोकर्स के थ्रू ट्राई किया, ऑनलाइन लिस्टिंग्स में देखा, कुछ नहीं मिला, नथिंग एट ऑल. आफ्टर द 4th month मेरे एक रिलेटिव के कजिन के थ्रू वहाँ पे हमको एक इन्वेंट्री मिला. फाइनली आफ्टर 4 months वो क्लाइंट को हम लेके गए, साइट विजिट एंड ऑल करा दिया. द क्लाइंट टेल्स अस, आई डोंट वांट टू शिफ्ट आउट ऑफ माय ओल्डर लोकेशन. I don't want to shift out of that location. This is the far reality, like what we have
Friendly
faced.
change.
Yeah, like they so intended like to go to that area, but then at the end of the day, you don't want to move out of the area. Like how I said earlier, like that comfort that you have of the area where you've grown up. You know all the places, the cafes, restaurants.
So it could not take the final step of moving out
Yeah.
after even spending time.
Absolutely. So it's like हाँ, मतलब पुणे में यहाँ पे कैसा है, इमोशनल वैल्यू बहुत अटैच्ड है टू अ सर्टेन एरिया. So people who have grown up in those areas, like I personally also.
Very, very difficult to move out. Huh? That's something that is common across here. Yet, कि पुणे में यहाँ पे
Sir, in Pune, you can't leave Pune.
Yeah.
that is good for a city, but even from a location, is there is definitely an emotional attachment to कि यार ये location पे ही रहना है.
Your
Definitely.
friend circle, your environment, your mindset, हर जगह का पुणे की mindset अलग है. पुथुर का जो mindset है वो अलग है. हड़पसर का mindset अलग है. विमान नगर का mindset अलग है. कोरेगांव पार्क का पूरा mindset अलग है. बालियर वाकट बालेवाड़ी
तो वहाँ का मतलब वो उससे बाहर नहीं निकल रहा है. So again, very interesting comparison I'll try to do that. In say a city like Bombay, there is always an aspiration to do what is called as pin code migration.
Yeah.
कि यार पैसा आया इधर से इधर, मतलब there is an aspiration to change a locality because you want to move towards premium localities as much as possible. Correct? This is a general trend that you see. It is reducing, but I think it's still is being prevalent, right? पुणे में ऐसा नहीं है, right? पुणे में अपने ही लोकेशन में बड़ा अपार्टमेंट ले लेंगे, but रहेंगे तो यहीं पे.
From 1 BHK to 2 BHK in the same locality, from 2 to 3 in the same locality. बच्चे बड़े होते हैं, दोनों को अलग अलग घर दिलाओ, उसी सेम बिल्डिंग में या सेम लोकेलिटी में. That's what we have seen so far.
Understood. So
इसलिए redevelopment का भी इतना वो progress हो रहा है.
understood. Great. So thanks for sharing, all these unique stories. Would now love to, from each one of you, hear some of your top projects that you think stand out in terms of, which you like, and you also share with your clients and highlighting why you do that, right? So maybe three, any number of projects, right? Three projects would be great, but even if don't have three, it's fine.
In terms of resale, I love Aminova. It's one of the best societies I've seen so far. And it was when it was constructed, I believe it was way ahead of its time. And I still love that project a lot. So when it comes to resale, I love to show around that project.
Just the size, just the weight.
Size, the location, the vibe of that entire project. It's all good. I love that, entire project. In upcoming projects, I love this project by Mantra, which is there on the bay in Keshav Nagar, Magarpatta Township, Mantra Burgundy. I really love the location of that project. It's so centrally located that wherever you are, no matter which part of East Pune you're staying, be it Hadapsar, be it Viman Nagar, Kharadi, anywhere, it is connected from each and every place. The connectivity of that location is really good. So that is one of my favorite projects. The price per square feet of that project is also very affordable. Considering the luxury that they're in, is one of the most for luxuries, somewhere around 4 CR to 6 CR in that bracket. So it depends from 3 BHKs to 4 BHKs, the prices are different.
So any good projects that you want to think? Siddhant, what would be your picks?
For me personally, in resale, I would look at lower, definitely, because the construction quality and the way the societies are maintained, that is like a class apart. So anything in resale in East Pune and lower is like something like a no-brainer, basically.
And you obviously will never find supply there.
Yeah, definitely. And apart from that, I think all of us are really excited for the Trump's first commercial tower that is coming up.
Trump,
Yeah.
commercial. The first ever commercial project of Trump in all of India is coming in Pune.
So all of us are very, very excited for that, and for the development around in and around that area as well, and the entire Mundhwa belt that is coming up. So very excited for that. Like Lodha is coming up, Godrej is there, Gera. Yeah, I feel it's the quality of the construction that Supreme has to offer. Supreme Towers that is there, and being in that location, like I said, I've grown up in that area. I know the area very well, and like it's like a place that people want to be. Students want to be. People, working professionals want to be there. So it's like one of the most sought after areas. And after Trump coming up, it's going to be even more.
No, understood. What about you, Yash?
I think, like you mentioned, Trump is a very interesting project. But one of my favorite projects recently, what I have really liked is Vascon Windermere, in Goregaon Park, North Main Road. You just look at the podium floor, the amenity floor. You feel like you're in a resort, surrounded by lush greenery of Goregaon Park, amazing infinity pool, amazing flats out there, huge carpets, to 2500 plus carpet, luxury to its core. This is one of my favorite projects in the recent sector. And if you talk about the resale, then I would definitely, maybe Juzer bhai would agree with me, Clover Hills. The full bungalow project, beautifully
This is
done up.
different from the Clover.
Yeah, so Clover is a brand.
Clover is a brand. Oh, Clover Hills. Okay.
So Hills is the name of the project. Clover Hills. It is located in NIBM Road. It is on a hilltop sort of a region. So there you feel like you're out of Pune. Once you enter the gate of Clover Hills, you feel like you've come to maybe Mahabaleshwar.
And the same thing I would say for Tribeca's Arc project over there, which has the rooftop, the biggest rooftop amenity in all of Pune. So it's like I think it's over an acre or so, I believe.
Oh, 3.
3 acres. Yeah. 3 acres of amenities that you have over there. So it's like one of the best projects, I would say, in South Pune.
I also would like to highlight Yo Pune, which is there till in Harapsar, I think. Magarpatta Township. So that is also one of the best projects of Pune. The entire layout, the size of the flats is just too good. The all it is, the price is somewhere around 8 to 8.5 crores. And a few Bollywood celebrities also own the property over there. That's what I heard.
I think some of the transactions we would have highlighted through Zapkey only. I think Tiger Shroff.
Tiger Shroff. I
Yes.
think Tiger Shroff recently purchased a property over there, which he has leased.
Leased out to some
Yeah,
company.
leased out to
That is
some-
what we violated in the past. Yes.
Slowly, Pune is coming in that scene, and people say that there is traffic and there's this. I love it because this is all.
Oh, that I can see the love for Pune, and even in Pune, what I've learned is that if from that locality, then you are a lover of that locality as well.
And this growth, because this is a part of growth, right? If there is a city which is growing, problems will happen. Everyone is not aware of how to deal with it. Even if we start something new, we are going to face problems. Similarly, the government authorities, they are still learning how to manage the traffic, how to create bigger roads or broader roads, which area requires this. Hinjewadi, I just learned about the issue with the traffic of Hinjewadi. They have sorted it out and they're working on it to sort it out. Keshav Nagar, that bridge, it worked out. Things are happening. A lot of releases have become one ways. So they're sorting it out. Slowly things will become. So I don't think problems are a big issue about Pune. The traffic, all these things. The way that
The city evolves.
They will adapt to the
Exactly.
challenges.
So great to hear your top project picks also. Let's move to our concluding section, wherein I would love for each one of you to share some buyer tips, wherein you can, given your journey, what would you want to advise buyers in Pune buying it is, or you would.
I don't agree to the term when people say it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. I always feel it's a buyer's market. You have the money,
Yeah.
you have the capacity to buy, you are the king. So whenever you're seeking to buy a property, you should do your research. You should know what are my limitations and what are my plus points and what are the points where I can negotiate with the builder. People are still a bit hesitant in Pune to negotiate. And builders are taking advantage of that. Yeah, we see it very because I know two buyers. One who has negotiated to that price and the other one who is still, hesitant to negotiate. So I would.
So I think you guys should help buyers with Zapkey data, because now negotiation should never be the issue, right? And every buyer should be empowered to negotiate best with factual data, right?
It's
And
an
I feel
emotional
the
toss.
buyer should, have that
A very good point that I'm hearing that.
discussion with the broker on the price before sitting along, if they are purchasing a under construction property, they should sit with the broker and discuss the price before going to the developer. See what happens is once you're sitting in front of the developer, I cannot always negotiate on behalf of my customer. The builder is watching me. So they should have that conversation prior to that visit to the builder, that what should be my closing price. The broker will always know the closing price and he would want his buyer. My client, I would always take pride if my client has got the price, the right price of that.
Understood. So you are saying that sometimes clients are underprepared in terms of what is the price that they want to
Low signed it in the selection that this is what I want, no matter the price. And then I feel really bad because even if he wants that, I could have, given him that price. But sometimes because of that over excitement,
and the builder senses the over excitement and says, Juzer bhai, आप शांत रहो, मैं करता हूँ.
or want to, I have to be quiet.
No, I understand. It's a very good, very good suggestion that you have given, that how buyers should actually be prepared in terms of what is the price that they want to close through Zapkey data or through the channel partner who's involved in that.
In the first deal. Never close in the first
Never
deal.
close in the- I was just about to add on. I was
This
just
is one
about
of
to
the
say-
first things that you can do is, unless you have that kind of emergency, never close in the first meeting. I have seen that happening because of this UPI transaction. I see that very often. Before क्या रहता था वो बहाना होता था, checkbook नहीं लाया सर, कैसे करूँगा? आप क्या?
And you get to sleep over it.
I'm always on.
अभी क्या है, टोकन दे दो यूपीआई से.
नहीं नहीं सर अभी भी बातें दे
Even if it's 25,000, सर कर दो आप UPI, आपके नाम पे बुक हो जाएगा.
So जे टू बी ऑनेस्ट बॉम्बे में नहीं सुनते, क्योंकि वहाँ पे टोकन भी बड़ा अमाउंट होता है, क्योंकि 1 लाख के ऊपर यूपीआई नहीं कर सकते. यहाँ पे यूपीआई 25,000 टोकन डन.
Never book a property or never purchase a property in the first meeting.
See, at the end of the day, brokers know the bottom rate. So you should always be upfront with your broker. Consult with him कि सर मेरा बजट इतना है, क्या मेरे रेट में बैठेगा. And brokers are the mouthpiece of the entire market. They'll give you all the data, they'll hand it in your plate. Then based on the consultation, you can see what you like. And like he said that if you have the money in today's day, you can command a price. So you should know that when you'll be able to get the best rate. So as per my understanding, that you'll get the best rate in a new launch project, because at that time developers want to sell.
Yeah.
So they'll offer you a lower rate based on your payment terms. So in terms of investment, I would say that that is the best time to invest in a new launch or in a like जब आपका plinth हो गया in that stage, because you know the rates are going to go up. The developer himself will start selling at a higher rate.
Yeah.
So these 2 points you should keep in mind while you are negotiating a deal.
So great point. I've learned that the great insight that came out, right? Never close in the first deal.
Yeah.
UPI hai, but control.
Hold your horse.
Check is the key. Check is the key. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for your time and sharing insights. Hopefully our viewers would love this discussion. And if you've liked our discussion, if you stayed till here, please do like, share, and subscribe. And we look forward to seeing you in the next discussion. Thank you.